Hey guys, Bird Yu-Gi-Oh here, coming at you with another deck profile. This time it is going to be Dracopal deck, kind of an updated version from the ban list, because we have some really good cards that go well with these, and you'll see that when we get into it. So yeah, if you guys haven't already, really helps me out if you subscribe. You'll be notified when I post deck profiles, test hands, and all kinds of stuff. So let's get right into this one. Starting off with the best monster in your deck, Luster Pendulum, the Dracoslayer. When he's in your pendulum scale, once per turn, if you have a card in your other pendulum zone, you can destroy that card. And if you do, add one card from your deck to your hand with the same name. So it really helps get your plays going, and you'll see a very specific card that you want to be destroying if you can. The other Dracoslayer we play is Master Pendulum. The main reason we play him, and especially at 2, is because he's a normal, which will come up later as well. But he also, while this card is in your pendulum zone, you can target one card in the pendulum zone and destroy it. So it's another way of getting a destroy effect. And then the Drake Overlord that we play is, it's hard to see, Vector Pendulum. His effect is negate his pendulum scale effect. Negate all card effects in your opponent's pendulum zone. Doesn't really come up ever, hardly. But he is another normal monster, which again does come up. And the best part of this deck is that you can play Guiding Ariadne. So ideally, you're going to be opening up a way of getting to these, setting them in scale, destroying Ariadne, getting the effect to reveal 3 counter traps, and your opponent chooses one for you to add to your hand. And then he's going to be adding another one from your deck to your hand, so then you'll have an Ariadne and a counter trap, like, for sure. Which is too good. I mean, just a free counter trap negate is amazing, and especially, with that reveal. If you reveal like 3 Solemn Judgment, you're going to get a Solemn Judgment, and so you get a free Solemn Judgment, no life points if you have this in your scale. So she is absolutely necessary and absolutely amazing in this deck. And then for the Pal part of the Dracopals, we have Performapal Pendulum Sorcerer. Basically, the effect you're going to be using for him is his monster effect. If he's special summoned, you can target up to 2 cards you control, destroy them, and if you do, add Performapal monsters with different names from your deck to your hand. So really, really good. Sometimes if you just want some draw power, you'll destroy cards and then add Get Turtle and Lizard Draw. They go very well together. If a Performapal card is activated in your other pendulum zone, so you activate Lizard Draw, and then you'll draw a card off of Get Turtle, and then if you have a Performapal card in your other pendulum zone, except Lizard Draw, you can destroy this card and draw 1 card. So they work very well together. Get you draw 2, really, really good. That's basically all they're good for. Otherwise, they're kind of just locking up your pendulum zone sometimes. Another one you can search off of Pendulum Sorcerer is Radish Horse. If your opponent controls a special summon monster, and you control and controls at least as many monsters as you do, you can just special summon this card. So it's a nice way of getting a level 4 on board. And then the last 2 Performapals that we play, 2 Second Donkey. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can send 1 Performapal monster from your deck to your graveyard. If you have 2 cards in your pendulum zone, you can add it to your hand instead. So obviously you're going to be wanting to normal or special summon him if you have your pendulum scales set. And then you're going to be just searching any Performapal monster. So any of these guys. We play also 2 Rescue Hamster. Mostly you're going to be using his normal summon effect. When it's normal summon and you have at least a level 5 or lower pendulum monster in your extra deck, you can tribute this card and then choose 1 pendulum monster in your extra deck and special summon a monster from your deck with the same name. So, any of these guys, if they get to there that they're destroyed, kind of whatever. It's a good way of getting monsters on the board. It also has another its scale effect. You can banish it from the pendulum zone and add 2 face-up pendulum monsters with the same name from your extra deck to your hand. So it's a way of kind of getting more monsters in your hand, basically. And then 2 Rescue Rabbit. You can banish this face-up card, special summon 2 level 4 or lower normal monsters with the same name. So that's the main reason we're playing 2 of him and 2 of the normal ones each, so that you can just get a lot of advantage off of Rescue Rabbit. And the last card we play is a Morphage Sloth. We play the Guard Dragon engine, and it's always just a plus to end on a Sloth, so that your opponent's not going to be able to special summon from the extra deck. So really, really nice card. That is it for the monsters. For the spells, best one for this deck is Draco Face Off. You just reveal 1 Dracoslayer and 1 Draco Overlord, and your opponent randomly picks one for you to either place in the pendulum zone or special summon, and then you put the other one to the extra deck face up. So really, really good card. Gets most of your plays going. And then I played just 1 Painful Decision. You just send 1 level 4 or lower normal monster from your deck to the graveyard. So one of these guys. And then you add 1 card with the same name as one of them from your deck to your hand. So it's just good search power. And then 2 Duelist Alliance. If there's a card in your pendulum zone, you just add 1 pendulum monster. So you're going to be adding anything with pendulum in its name. So you can add a pendulum sorcerer, or any of the Draco pendulum cards. You know, obviously, usually it's going to be Luster pendulum, but any of them. So again, just really, really good, easy, good search power for the deck. And then a card I just kind of added in last minute, but I thought would really help this deck out. Wavering Eyes. You just destroy as many cards in the pendulum zone. So unless you're playing against pendulum, you're just going to be destroying 2 max. But in that way, if you destroy 2, you can add 1 pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. So that's an easy way of searching, like a Guiding Ariadne if you need that. Which most of the time you do want it, or it's a good way of destroying an Ariadne, or obviously just searching any of your pendulum. So I thought it was a nice addition, just at 2. And then for some draw power, Pot of Desires. It sucks to banish Sloth or like 3 of your normal monsters, but ideally you'll want to do this after you can, at least pendulum summon something, and then hopefully you're just getting some advantage off of it. And then a new one that I kind of like to play in this deck is Pot of Riches. You just shuffle 3 pendulum monsters in the deck from your graveyard or face up in your extra deck, and you draw 2 cards. You cannot special summon except by pendulum summon, so that's the main drawback to it. But you do destroy a lot, and this deck does actually play a lot of traps. So drawing some of those traps, if you just have a back row of 3 traps along with your pendulum scale, it's really nice. And so now on to the traps. 3 Solemn Strike, 3 Solemn Warning, and 3 Solemn Judgment. I was contemplating going down to 2/2/2, but it's so nice to, off of the Ariadne, to just reveal 3 of whatever one you think you're going to need, and then you're just guaranteed to get that one. Basically, when Ariadne gets destroyed, if you have these 3 in your deck, you just reveal 3 Judgment, and you're going to be getting a Judgment. So I thought it was too good to not play those. And obviously drawing, 2 in your opening hand is not always a bad thing. You're going to be stopping your opponent, so then hopefully you can draw some cards you can actually do something with. So it's a fun deck. It's definitely a different pendulum deck because you're playing so many traps, but it is fun. And for the extra deck, like I said, we play the Guard Dragon engine, or a kind of a small one. LP, your main way of going into that is you have just all these dragons, level 4 or lower dragons, all right there, so not too difficult to go into. Then triple burst dragon, that's part of the combo you need, because you can only special summon dragon types. Hieratic seal, that's what you want to end on, and then you can obviously special summon one dragon monster from your hand or deck. So any of these guys, Luster Pendulum's kind of nice. He's a tuner. So one land for Hinkus. You just need those downward pointing arrows, or for pendulum summoning purposes right now. Once Master Rule 5 is out, you can probably just cut this all together, because you'll have better chance for like your extra deck summons. Obviously for pendulum summoning you still have to use these, but it'll be a little different. You'll play your pendulum decks a little different then. And then IP Masquerena is sometimes your best option. Just 2 monsters going into IP Masquerena, hopefully being able to get another one out. And then you'll go into Unicorn on your opponent's turn, which is really nice. And then just some generic other destruction, just Phoenix and Cerberus, because we had a little bit of room in this deck. And then for the Dracoslayer engine, play Master, Ignister, and then Dinoster. Ideally, you want to go full combo, go into all these. You'll have 2 level 8s, and then you can kind of end on a Hope Harbinger, which is really nice. You just gain a lot of advantage with these cards, adding cards from your hand, special summoning, all kinds of stuff. And then ending on Hope Harbinger is just a bonus. And then rank 4s are kind of easy to make in this deck. So Tornado Dragon, Abyss Dweller, I thought were really good. You could always destroy your own pendulum cards if it does get you some advantage. So that's nice. And then the last one is Omega. Normally, if you're going second, you're going to want to make Ignister, but if you're going first, and you can, if you have him and another level 4, going into Omega will sometimes just hurt your opponent pretty bad, so it's kind of nice to have in there. So yeah, that is the deck, guys. Kind of a super fun version, of like a pendulum deck. You might try it out. It's pretty fun, and I'll probably be doing actually another pendulum deck later this week, so stay tuned for that, and we'll catch you on the next one.